Hello there. Today I thought it would be a fun idea if we talked about Qui-Gon Jinn and the multitudes of apprentices that he has had throughout the entirety of the Star Wars universe. We're going to be talking about his time as a Jedi Knight, his time as a Jedi Master, and his time as a Force Ghost, where he was instructing multiple people on how to use the full power of the Cosmic Force. So today, without further ado, let's get into Qui-Gon Jinn and talk about everything that he did and talk about his apprentices throughout his entire time as a Jedi. So first off, we are going to be talking about Femor. Femor is the very first apprentice of Qui-Gon Jinn. Immediately after Qui-Gon Jinn became a Jedi Knight after being taught by Count Dooku, he took his very own apprentice, and that apprentice, of course, was Femor. And as tradition, as he taught Femor everything he knew over the course of many years, Femor then became a Jedi Knight, and as tradition, Qui-Gon Jinn then became a Jedi Master because he actually managed to teach somebody the full effects of the Force and the powers of the Jedi, and officially taught him everything that he knew, and he became a Jedi Master. Now, to be completely fair, we don't really know that much about Femor as a person. We do know that he was a Jedi who was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn, who then became a Jedi Knight, and because of that, Qui-Gon Jinn became a Jedi Master because of what he taught him. We don't really know the specifics about how he was trained as a Jedi Knight, how he later had his own apprentice, or if he even survived Order 66 for that matter. So the entire thing is not really worth talking about, to be completely honest with you. But fortunately for us, Qui-Gon Jinn does have a second apprentice immediately after, and that is the apprentice known as Xanatos. With what is probably the most evil-ass sounding name in the entirety of the Star Wars universe, Xanatos was, of course, the second apprentice to Qui-Gon Jinn, and unfortunately he failed as a Jedi in every way, shape, and form. He was cocky, he was arrogant, he was aggressive, and he came from a noble background, and he basically held it over everybody, as his father was the governor of a planet called Telos 4. And unfortunately, during the mission where Xanatos would become a Jedi Knight, he was corrupted by the mind and power of his father after witnessing the death of his sister and the death of his own father by the hand of his former master Qui-Gon Jinn, so he immediately bailed and decided to become the head of a mining facility on his home planet and became a Dark Jedi, there in which 9 years later, he then fought Qui-Gon Jinn and his new apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi and plot to murder them and destroy the entirety of the Jedi Temple, only for him to get his ass whooped by Qui-Gon Jinn and commit suicide by falling into a pit of acid. So, not exactly the most graceful death, but there are a couple of points about him being extremely similar to Anakin Skywalker, but with Anakin, of course, not really having that much of a royal background, more or less being a slave since the day he was literally born. Then, of course, the third and final apprentice of Qui-Gon Jinn during the time of his being alive was, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi was the final apprentice of Qui-Gon Jinn, and he taught him many things in the ways of the Force for 12 years after training him as a Jedi at the age of 13. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi would go through several different trials like Xanatos, the Battle of 1,000 Fountains, and different other areas where they would have to use their bond and use the powers of the Force, but it would be around 32 BBY where the two of them would be asked by Chancellor Valorum to go to Naboo to solve the invasion of Naboo and the blockade, which would lead into his fourth apprentice, or his unofficial apprentice if you would, by the name of Anakin Skywalker. He would take in Anakin Skywalker as a young boy at the age of 9, and he would take him to Coruscant to be studied by the Jedi Council and to determine whether or not he was the actual chosen one, had the ability to use the Force, and could actually become a Jedi, which the Jedi Council said no to because they said he was too old, but Qui-Gon Jinn, understanding that he knew that he was the chosen one, offered to take him in as his own Padawan learner and said that Obi-Wan Kenobi was officially ready to do the Jedi trials and to become a Jedi Knight. Unfortunately, however, the invasion and the blockade of Naboo would then lead to Qui-Gon Jinn's untimely death by the hand of Darth Maul, and he would have two apprentices immediately after that, following his transition into becoming a Force Ghost and becoming one with the Cosmic Force. He would train Yoda in the ways of how to connect with the wills and how to connect with the cosmic force, officially training him to become a Force Ghost, and he would also train Obi-Wan Kenobi in the same method, teaching him how to be truly connected to the cosmic force and how to become a Force Ghost himself, in which the both of them, Obi-Wan Kenobi first and then Master Yoda, would then officially become Force Ghosts and would join in the cosmic force alongside Qui-Gon Jinn. And with that, those are all of the apprentices of Qui-Gon Jinn. If you like this kind of content, please hit that notification bell, that subscribe button, and please stay tuned for more videos that are coming along the way.